Oh, yeah, begging cups of Joe like they're going out of style. I'm on 3, baby. Wow. Rashawn, Spit of the Morning, episode 55, Wednesday, September 17th. September baseball. Always fun. Presented by Off Base Media. A lot to get into today, Sean, and we got some pennant chase baseball, wildcard baseball. Phil's clinched. Well, we know that we were going to see Red October. That was known. And then since we talked last, they clinched a division title, their second in 2 years. How about that one, huh?
Were you just talking about the Phils, baby?
Division champs.
Yeah, first one's the clinch, which is I think that's. Did you just say this is the first one in a while? It's been the first time they've done this in a long time.
What do you mean?
To be the first people in like the entire league to clinch.
Oh, sure. How about this? Last time they clinched in, I shouldn't say last time because I don't know that to be a fact, but I know in 2008 they did clinch in LA, and that was 08.
Yeah, they did clinch in LA back in 08. It is, and
that was a good year. That was a good year.
They also did in 08 right before they clinched.
What's that?
Swept the Mets in a 4-game series before they clinched as well, too. I remember that year very vividly for some reason. I don't remember anything else about my childhood, but I remember a whole lot about the 2008 playoff run and Philadelphia Phillies. But anyway, I'm super, super excited. Not only that they clinched, but because of how they look, like how they clinched, first off, comeback game, and second off, how they just came out firing after they clinched. No hangover lineup at all.
Yeah.
Everybody was playing. You know they were out partying last night. Maybe they weren't out partying. I don't know. Maybe they had some non-alcoholics. That's a lie. My boys don't drink non-alcoholics. They drink real beer because they're men. You know who drinks non-alcoholics? Probably Francisco Lindor. But anyway.
O'Doul's and Queens.
Yep. But they can't. And then last night, unbelievable game. Playoff baseball, if you will. Last night with a comeback win in the 6th after going shut out for 5 innings. This is why I'm putting a lot of respect on this team. I'm believing in this team a lot more because past Phillies, if they got shut out for 5 innings, let alone no hit for 5 innings, I would have turned the game off because I knew it was over. There was no fight in the past teams from before. Well, there's a whole lot of fight in this team, and it makes me very, very excited, Spin.
Yeah, let's go. Let's continue down the Phil's train. Because you got to remember, at one point they trailed the Mets 5.5 games back on June 12th. Yep. What is it now? They're up by like 12 something.
Probably 11.
12 and a half up on them now.
12 and a half.
And it's the biggest gap. But you got to remember, back on June 12th, they were a second place team, and they really, after they kind of, there's peaks and valleys for everyone, but after they kind of got out of that valley, they didn't look back. 7 consecutive years, they're NL East champs, and they did clinch back in 08. Like, see if history repeats itself. They go on a run. If it's Yankees and Phillies in the World Series, we'll be looking for a rematch of 09 and hopefully the same outcome. No offense there. But Yankees got to take care of business first. But right now it's all eyes on Philly. They look for a sweep really quick against the Dodgers, a good Dodgers team. So they're playing well against good teams, as you alluded to earlier. And their first team lock up the division, again, as you alluded to earlier, which also means that the Mets are eliminated from winning the NL East. How about that?
Yeah. Hey, shout out. Yeah, they might have got a win last night in Queens, but fuck them. Also, another thing real quick. This Phillies team has scored the most has scored the most runs in the 7th inning or later than any team in the MLB. So getting into the bullpen, which will help them come playoff time, because we've talked about how much bullpens have been kind of screwing up as of late. If you end up playing the Cubs, they don't have the greatest of bullpens. Milwaukee's got a decent bullpen, but they also lost Trevor. Dodgers don't have a good bullpen. We've seen that the past 2 nights. And the Padres have a decent bullpen. But the point I'm trying to make here is Phillies have had pretty good success against bullpens this year. And going into a playoff race when there's not a whole lot of arms in people's bullpens right now, it's a good sign.
It really is. You talk about kind of like the no hangover from when they clinched because they come back and play like dogs yesterday. They were No hit, I think, for the first 5 innings
They
that
were.
Ohtani
They
pitched.
were.
How about that? Talk about a little comeback there. And then I think Marchand got a little rally going, a little hit parade. This is when really any team's at their best, but I really maybe remember taking note of this back in 2022 when the Phillies were literally at their best and they were a 6 seed that went to a pennant. And they were able to scrap together hits, play like that, kind of like what we saw last night. Bottom of the order, Marchand, base knock. That's the first hit of the game, and like with 1 out in the 6th inning. Then they have a couple hits here and there, and then boom, Brandon Marsh 3-run homer, and it's like they're capitalizing via the homer. It's not live and die by the homer. That's when anyone runs into trouble. We've seen it with the Phils, particularly in the past. It's when anybody runs into trouble. I've seen it with the Yankees in the past. But that's when anyone runs into trouble. You're at your best when you can have timely hitting, manufacture hits, bang, 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 bottom of the order is doing it, and then you can capitalize with a homer. And the homer is not a period; it's an exclamation point, right? It's not just that's your rally, boom, done. No, it's exclamation point, bang, and it's just that's when they're at their best. We saw it yesterday. And then again, Kepler capitalizes, he gets involved. And then Marchand clutch late. That was crazy. How about Marchand, dude?
Dude, I'm actually really, really glad you brought that up, because why we almost have been so good is because the bottom of our lineup has been so good. It's made our lineup so unbelievably deep. When you have Marsh hitting how you do, Castellanos is kind of coming back around a little bit more, but then Stott has looked a whole lot better. And hell, dude, Marchand, you just touched on it. Marchand got the first hit of the night, and then blast a 3-run home run to give us the lead in the top of the 8th, I think, last night.
I think so.
But but that 22 run, you hit the nail on the head with it. It was, we didn't live or die by the home run. They started to live or die by the home run in the World Series, and that's why they lost. But in that run to get to the World Series, it was timely hitting, and then guess what? When your power hitters get up there, they capitalize. And I do like what I'm seeing right now.
Yep, and contributions from Marsh and Harrison Bader. Every so now and then Kepler will run into one, but I mean Marsh and Bader, I mean they're hitting like 280s and stuff. So those are great, and you don't even look at them to be like your main dog. I think Harper's starting to wake up a little bit. He's been good all year, but he hasn't been Harper-esque.
He had the first RBIs last night. He hit with a RBI double.
He did, double. And I think he's looked really good. He had a homer the day before. So, and then, of course, you have your MVP candidate in Schwarber. So things going really well in Philly.
Even JT's shown signs of being good.
So here's the thing. I bet you JT got real banged up because he was like, okay, Marchand can play Tuesday.
Yeah.
So JT's like, there was also a really good locker room speech with Topper. And I think he went to JT, was like, what are we going to do, JT? He's like, whatever the hell it takes, Topper, or something like that. And then the champagne stuff for the clinching. And of course, Harrison Bader is a good interview too. And things just going right in Philly. You see this picture here. Even on Monday, the defense looked good, especially with Ranger Schwartz. Now, this is the shit that Ranger does off the mound. Little bit, I think it was like a little bunt or a swinging bunt or maybe just a drag bunt to his right. He gets, or maybe it was a sack bunt, whatever the fuck it was. But he gets the out. It was a tough play going to his right as a lefty, and he makes a fantastic play. But he will not be eligible for a Gold Glove this year because of Rawlings Sports has their or Rawlings Gold Glove has their eligibility rules. So I guess Rangers are absolute cat off the mound, but that's been known. But everything's just going right now in Philly. The defense looks good too. Pitchers are pitching well, and at least I know with Sanchez yesterday. I don't know if he wasn't bad. I don't know if he was great. I don't know if he was looked like a number 2 in Cy Young type of guy, but he was good enough to keep you in a ball game. So that's all that matters, right? Even if you're getting no hit by a Shohei Ohtani through 5 innings, and Christopher Sanchez is trying to go toe to toe. Even if he doesn't have his best stuff, maybe he didn't see the game like that. But even if he didn't, he can pitch well enough to keep you in a game. And then, hey, the offense has proven to wake up when it matters. Things going right in Philly.
Yeah. Sanchez didn't have his best stuff last night, but that's okay, because he was probably hungover.
That's true. And how about this? Another little bit of what's going on in Philly. We talked about Schwarber, because how can you not talk about Schwarber when you talk about this team? But when you look at lefty on lefty crime, guys, left-handed hitters off of left-handed pitchers, a lot of times this day and age you see like pinch hitters come up or trying to cater the lineup around like matchups and stuff. Sometimes that's played out. Sometimes it's not. Sometimes you just got to let your dogs eat. Well, Schwarber's been eaten, and he's been eaten big time. He's one homer off a lefty away from setting a record. Right now, he's tied for first with Matt Olson and Stan Musial. So anytime you're on the list with Stan, that's pretty cool. For most homers from a lefty, off a lefty, 22. He's done it this year. 22 is 54, whatever the hell it is. Home runs have come from off a lefty. The other guys on this list, you see Barry Bonds and you see Griffey a few times on this list. So good company.
And this is what has really elevated Schwarber this year, is being able to do this. I mean, before he could always hit lefties, but it's almost like a not a foregone conclusion, but like they can't pitch. They can't go right at him. They got to still be careful of him when the lefty's on the bump now too, which has made our lineup once again that much better.
Yeah, and you see Griffey on the list. So Schwarber was kind of, I guess, tied with Griffey for lefty on lefty crime. He passed him the other day. And Griffey has been kind of getting matched for the Seattle Mariners record, too, because Cal just hit 2 in one game yesterday. Yeah. He passes Mantle to stand alone in the all-time switch hitter single-season home run record. And then he hits another one. That was from the left side. And then he turns around, maybe his next at-bat, whatever the hell it was, from the right side. And now for 56 on the season, which tied him with the Mariners single-season record with Griffey. And how fitting is it that as a switch hitter, he just set that record. He did it from both sides of the plate.
That's awesome. I didn't know that little tidbit, but that's actually really cool.
The year of Cal Riley continues, huh?
Yeah. I mean, he's still not the MVP, but
no. No. But I got the spins list later in the program for you. I have the top 10 for the MVPs and shit. And yes, spoiler alert, Cal's at 2, but he continues to make it seems like every week we're talking about what type of history he's going to make, if it's catcher history or switch hitter history. Now he's going to make Mariners history. So all in one season. It's the year of Cal Riley, it really is, but it's tough to surpass. You have to do something crazy to surpass Judge.
Yeah, you can't take away from what he's been doing this year, like Cal Riley. You can't take away from that at all. All those milestones are going to be his forever, but it's pretty insane that a guy can have that many milestones and still collectively not with, like, I would say probably like 65% of people are like, he's still not the MVP. That's just how good Aaron Judge is.
Yeah, and I know I see these conversations all the time of like, is it the best season ever by a catcher? And I don't even know if it is, but it was worth the discussion. Maybe now that he continues to kick ass, now that we're in like late September, like maybe you can start to bring those arguments up again. But even like, I don't know if it's the best single season by a catcher ever. Maybe it's the best single season by a switch hitter ever. Maybe it's not. I don't know if I don't know. Maybe I value batting average too high. Maybe there are comparisons. I haven't really prepared for that argument, nor do I know, Mickey Mantle's full stat line for when he was hitting 54. You know what I mean? Maybe maybe Mickey's 54. He did other things that kind of look good. Where Cal at 56, it's more home runs, but where's the full stat line look like? See, I don't know. But it's worth the discussion.
I haven't compared like anything. I haven't. I'll be completely honest. I've slacked on this, and I haven't looked at basically anything in comparison to other catchers. So I don't know about that. But
neither do I. Yeah.
You can't take away the milestones that he's hitting. You just can't.
You can't. I think it's definitely the best power hitting season, but that being well-rounded season, like, I don't know. To go on another little bit of history, Trevor Story. I don't know if it's as cool as what Cal's doing because, chicks dig the long ball and everything, but ball players dig the stolen bases, and that's what Trevor Story's doing. 30 for 30 on stolen base attempts this season. Why is that important? Well, it's the most consecutive he's tied for second, but most consecutive stolen bases to start a season since 1951. The most is 44. That happened in 89, Vince Coleman. And then you have a 3-way tie for second. So Story, if he steals a base and doesn't get caught, he'll stay on the loan in second place. But Story in 2025, 30 for 30 in stolen base attempts. Trey Turner did it not that long ago in 2023. Carl Crawford also on this list in 2009. Those are the most consecutive stolen bases to start a season. Like I said, Vince Coleman's in first with 44. He did that back in 89. So this list hasn't really changed too much. To be perfect in stolen bases is pretty crazy. And right now, Story is a little bit of history there.
Trevor Story doing that at the ripe age of 32, which is a little impressive. But yeah, shout out Trey Turner. And then a blast from the past. This talk about like true ball knowers. Tell me about the Carl Crawford 08-09 seasons.
Yep.
Or the young Bucks. How he was in MLB The Show when we were younger. Carl Crawford was a goat back then.
Carl Crawford was a dog, and he was part of that Rays team that won a pennant.
Didn't he sign like a huge deal after the Rays?
I'm pretty sure. I forget his exact career path. Did he go right? Maybe he went to the Dodgers after that, and then Boston, or Boston and the Dodgers? He did play for both. I forget the exact order, but I remember he really started to slump in one of those teams. I forget.
It was pretty bad.
But he was a dog with the Rays, and he was part of that really good Rays team with the Longorias and the Carlos Peñas of the world. So yeah, he was a dog. B.J. Upton he goes by Melvin now.
Does he actually?
Yeah, Melvin.
I had no idea.
Zobrist, the young Zobrist was on the team. David, maybe not David Price was on the pennant team. Who cares?
He was.
Was he?
Mm-hmm.
He was on 09. I don't know if he was 08.
He was 08.
Either way, that was Joe Maddon's Rays. Joe Maddon's a baller. Either way, that's a little bit on some of the history around the league. And then, of course, on Monday was Roberto Clemente Day. So I took the liberty of making a little bit of the all Roberto Clemente 2025 nominee team, because every team sends a representative to be nominated for the Roberto Clemente Award, and then you're chosen 1 out of 30, ends up winning it. Some of the past winners here: Salvi Perez, last year's winner; Aaron Judge the year before; Justin Turner, Nelson Cruz, Wainwright. Those are the past few winners there since the start of 2020. And just really quick before we go to like the team I constructed, it's pretty cool when like the studs around the league are also winning Roberto Clemente awards. So they're studs on and off the field, and I don't think that's a coincidence. Here are the nominees this year that I put together on like a team type of thing. So every team sends a representative. That's what they look like. Nola representing the Phillies, Sean. How about that?
Yeah, it's either I know Nola's pretty deep into charity, but I think JT also is too. So it's normally one of those two. I'm pretty sure.
Good to see the battering mates always there. But that's the thing, and you can see might be banged up at the bottom. Not listed. Musgrove representing the Padres, Trevor Williams for the Nationals, Talkman White Sox, Griffin Conine Miami. Sorry guys, I couldn't fit you in my team because look at the representatives. I also have to kind of fuck things around because Brendan Donovan's playing first on this team, Bobby Witt's playing second. But hey, we got some dogs, man. We got Lindor, we got Corey Seager DHing.
Great team.
Those are some of the representatives here. Got to put Bo Naylor representing Cleveland. He's my backup catcher. There's only 2 catchers. Hoppy gets the start.
I would hope Corey Seager would be on this list. I mean, he's had enough time with how injured he's been this year.
See, that's what's funny. I thought the same thing with Joe Musgrove.
Yeah.
And I also thought the same thing because I think Musgrove's been out for the season. And I also thought the same thing with like the amount of like pitchers and even relief pitchers that are on here. It's like, you pitch every 5th day or whatever. So if you're relievers, you got a lot of time to kill. Like, you got a lot of time on your hands. Do some charity work. But, like, to see the amount of shortstops, too, right? Like, Mookie Betts, I put him in the outfield, but he's been playing short. Seager, Lindor, Bobby Witt. Like, all these guys are studs. J.P. Crawford's on this. Shout out Lawrence Butler. But, amount of position players also kicking ass. And I'll leave this up for a second because I got a trivia question for you, Sean. Play along at home. It's regarding the Roberto Clemente Award. The last Philly to win it. We talked about Nola, who's the Philly representative this year. But the last Philly to actually win it was back in 2014. Who was it?
So the 2014 team is hard because there was probably, like, I bet you Utley was still on that team. I know Hamels was. I'm wondering if Cliff Lee was. I'm going to go Cole Hamels.
No, I'll give you a hint. It's not a pitcher.
It's not a pitcher? Young or old in 2014?
He was older in 2014.
Did I already say him?
Nope.
Jimmy Rollins.
Yeah, Jimmy. Okay. Jimmy's the last Philly to win the Roberto back in 2014. In 2014, I'm honestly, I was looking at this and I was like, ooh, this is an interesting thing. 2014 was the only time there were co-winners. There was 2. There's one of the AL, one of the NL. They don't usually do that. They usually just one. Never before, since like the 70s, I think they started doing this award. Could be wrong on that, but whenever they started it, there was only one winner in the whole major leagues. Only one winner to do it, except for 2014. There's 2, and it was Paul Konerko in the American League, and Jimmy in the National League. The only time there's been co-winners for the Roberto.
Was Paul Konerko a White Sox at the time?
I think so. I think he spent his whole career there.
Yeah.
So there we go. Don't know if he's the last White Sox to win it. That I did not search. But I do know the last Philly. Yeah, I don't know what they're doing out there in the, what are they? The north side?
South
no,
side.
they're the south side. Yes,
Yeah,
they're the
south
side. Either way, there's a little bit of that. Oh, here, can we do a side note before we get to our next thing while we're still on our vibe check?
Yeah.
Take of the year? Question mark. I fucking found this the other day. Do you see that? That was April 14th.
Oh my God, is that what you sent to me?
I sent it in our fantasy baseball chat. I scrolled up to see because the season's finished now, and Murtaugh came in had the worst record, and we were like, there should be a punishment for last place, and then he was like, we didn't decide on a thing, and I scrolled up. I was like, maybe we did decide on something because I wouldn't like drop a bombshell. And so I scrolled up to like the beginning of the season, and then on my way to the top, which we didn't decide on anything, by the way, but on my way to the top, I was like, holy shit. Look at this, April 14th.
I bet you we had a show that day and we talked about him getting called up. And we were
I wonder when he made his debut. I don't know. April seems April? No, he wasn't April though.
I feel like he was.
That's like the first full month of the season. He was not called up.
He came up in the second month, didn't he?
I don't fucking know when he came up. Man, I guess he had to have came up in the second month.
Hold on. When did
I thought his name was funny.
Well, we all think his name's funny.
This is before I even knew he was the Lancaster Milkman.
Oh, no. He didn't get called up till June.
Whoa. There's
what a prediction spin.
How about that in April? April 14th. Nicky, what's up?
And it does suck because he did get hurt. I mean, I know he had a slow start, but that's what we say, people. We don't jump out of our shoes for any of these freaking rookies, like right off the bat. Like, you got to let them get their feet wet and everything because he didn't have a great start. Then he started to heat up. Honestly, it was in the Philly series when they played the A's, and then he got hurt also in that same series, was out for a little bit. And since he's come back, he's been like one of the best hitters in baseball.
Yep. I have okay, that kind of brings us to our next thing here, I guess. We'll do a little spins list because and Nick's good because when you talk about best hitter in baseball, like I have an MVP list here, and I know he's gonna win Rookie of the Year. We all know that, but where's he gonna fall in MVP? Well, even before we get to that, on the AL side, the NL, for as weird as PCA's season has been, he shot out of a rocket to start the season, and then he kind of started to come down to earth at the All-Star break, but he was still good enough to start the damn game. That was not like a surprise to anybody. And now it's like, well, what the hell? I think he's maybe playing better as of late, but he had a really rough patch at a certain point. Either way, he is still one homer away from a 30 homer, 30 stolen base, 30 double season. So 30-30 season with also 30 doubles, 30-30-30 season, which would be the first Cub ever to do that. So that's a little bit of history there, and that's pretty cool for a guy who's making pretty much his first full season as a professional in the show, which got me thinking, where does PCA fall with the ups and downs he's had this season? He still has the chance to make history. He could do that this week. It's only one homer. With that being said, where does he fall? And he's a good defender too. Very valuable guy despite his, slumps. Where does he fall in the MVP race? Because at a certain point, he might have been the front runner, and now he's cooled down. Where does he fall? So that's generated a little thought, and it generated a little bit of a spins list. Let's start with NL MVP. I'll run through this, Sean, then I'll pull the list up for you.
All right.
And you'll do your blind reaction to this list. And I'll run through it pretty quickly because then I have a graphic I'll put up. I have PCA at 10. I went by 10s. I got PCA at 10. I think there's 9 better guys, okay? And I got some honorable mentions, but when I pull it up, you can see for yourself. PCA at 10, I just think his downfall is that, shouldn't say it's that crazy of a downfall, but I do think there's guys who are getting hot at the right time. And even the Cubs kind of, yes, they're maybe on a 3-game win streak or whatever the hell it is. But I do think there's teams that are feisty, that have some juice, that I have to put PCA at 10 because guess what? Gerardo Perdomo for the Diamondbacks. Let's give him a little bit of love. I got him at 9. We talked about him being a cheeky bastard at times. I got him there. Another guy, Bryce Terang. You have to have a Brewer somewhere on this list. I have my lone Brewer at number 8. Bryce Terang falls there. Pete Alonso at 7. You got to have Pete Alonso, what he's doing this year. He's probably going to opt out on his contract, but what he's doing for the Mets is incredible. And then you have a couple of usual suspects. Machado at 6, Freddie Freeman at 5. Some of these are like what the odds makers say, and then I made my own list as well. So Machado and Freeman do finish high, I think, in Vegas. At least they did yesterday when I made the list. And I still have them 6 and 5 respectively. At 4, I don't know. I think there's a clear-cut 3, which we talked about. After that, I think it's interesting where the list goes. So I need a good guy at 4 to kind of separate the big 3 to the next half of the list. I put Paul Skeens there. I'm not big jumping out of my shoes for pitchers. There's an award for that. But I think if you're hands down, he could very well just be the unanimous Cy Young. And I think if you're that good, I'll give you MVP votes, and I'll have you finish 4th. I do think he should be top 5. I have him at 4 because I think he's the clear-cut guy. He's having that good of a season where he can separate the top 3 to the remaining 5 or whatever it is, remaining 6. Then I have Schwarber at 3, Soto at 2, Ohtani winning the damn thing. Those are some of the guys we talked about, so that doesn't really come as a surprise. There's my list right there, and you can see some of my honorable mentions who I do want to give love to. But those is my MVP list as of right now. Thoughts on that?
So the only thing I would switch out, I do like the list. I like that you have Freddie at 5 because Freddie doesn't get enough love ever. We've talked about Freddie being one of the most underrated people in all of baseball. What was I going to say? Oh, but I'd probably switch out. Listen, I think Perdomo's doing a great job, but I'd probably put Corbin Carroll there.
Yeah, I had
Perdomo.
I had Carroll. I wanted to make sure I noted him. And also I had Ketel Marte kind of in my top 10 until I had to put Terang somewhere. I had to find a spot for Terang, and I was like, I'm putting him at fucking 8 because I want a Brewer there. I need a Brewer.
What about? I mean, so this is just like me being nitpicky and everything like that. What about Stowers?
Love it. He's just banged up right now.
Yeah. So, I mean, I think Stowers deserves a little bit of love too, maybe in the honorable mention category, not on the list. PCA, I don't even know if he deserves to be in the top 10. I get that he's about to hit the 30-30-30, and it's the first time he's a Cub ever. This guy has had probably the worst second half in all of baseball.
I thought maybe it's been better as of late. And it's bad enough to drop him pretty greatly, but good enough to have him hanging on at number 10 still. That's just how I felt.
Yeah, no, I understand where you're coming from. And listen, he had such a good first half of the season that he kind of almost deserves to still be there. But his second half, especially when the Cubs have needed him the most, has really fallen off a cliff.
Yeah, he's 87 runs and 90 ribbies though too. I think there's no qualms on his defense. So, and a similar reason why I put Freddie pretty high, right? You're on a really good team still. You're super valuable. Value is going to have a thing on this list. So it's almost like if you're Soto, say, you got to have, I don't know what type of locker room guy Soto is, or, his defense isn't good, but his offensive production seriously propels him to be that high. Where a guy like Freeman, I don't think his offensive numbers, they don't compare with that of a Juan Soto, but between his defense, between his leadership, between his veteran presence and that shit like that, it's good enough to have him top 5. So I kind of try to take everything into consideration, try to still give PCA a little bit of love and keep him in the top 10 if I could. But I think he's holding on by a strand. And Ketel, I think if he was hotter, maybe Yelich finds his way in. Maybe, like you said, who did you mention? Stowers. I don't know his status, but love to see Stowers get a little love. Maybe even a guy like Lindor. I don't know.
So, and then also my other qualm, which we've already argued on and we won't argue any further on, is Juan Soto being above Kyle Schwarber.
Yeah.
It's asinine to me. But I'll accept it for now. The Mets have to have a little bit of a win, so I'll give it to him.
The Mets do have 2 guys on this list and 1 guy in the honorable mention category, and they still – actually, the Texas Rangers have more wins than the Mets, and I think Cleveland does too. So, what are you going to do?
Yeah. Juan Soto can have his little Jose Ramirez run in Queens.
Yeah. Let's go to the AL. We'll talk about the honorable mentions when we get there. A couple of Blue Jays will start to sneak on the honorable mention list. But of course, you have to have at least 1 Blue Jay in the top 10. Before we get to that, I have Skubal at 10. He's going to be the Cy Young winner on the AL side. So I put him in the fucking MVP conversation. He's also the face of a really good team. So fuck it. There's Tarek. I got Buxton at 9, J-Rod at 8. They're actually very similar players, but I think J-Rod has better numbers over Buxton, but both similar players, good center fielders. J-Rod upper edge over Buxton. I do think they should both get love. And then here's this, the big Amish, the Lancaster Milkman, Nick Hurts at 7, dude. I think he's been that good. He's going to be Rookie of the Year, so I'll put him at number 7. He could be the unanimous Rookie of the Year. That's how good he's been. So I'll give him MVP votes there. Junior Caminaro at 6. And like I said earlier, I got to have a Blue Jay on this. George Springer at 5. I put him ahead of Vlad. Bo's hurt. I put him ahead of Vlad. I think Springer's been so damn good. I have him at 5. J-Ram at 4. Bobby Witt at 3. Usual suspects. They're usually always going to be on this. And then, of course, we know the top 2. It's Cal. It's Judge in that order. Cal being 2, Judge being 1. You can see some honorable mentions there, too, that I had to give love to.
I like that list. I'm not going to lie. I like that list a whole lot. I like that. I don't have any qualms with anything on that list. Maybe I would put Scooble a little higher, maybe, because we gave Skeens a lot of love there too. But that's really the only qualm I have. But I like the 10 people who are on that list. Nice. Junior Caminero is having one of the quietest, best seasons in baseball right now.
Yeah, I think you can make a case for him to be maybe higher, but I just think Springer on the team that he's on, and talk about the value that Springer has on his team. Where Caminero, they're under 500, so he still get love. That's not a totally shit on him, but if there's a difference maker between where Springer falls, I do think he should be top 5 because of what the Blue Jays look like.
Will there ever be a year where Jose Ramirez and Bobby Witt don't fall in the top 5 of MVP voting?
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. As long as they're, as long as they're being themselves, they will be top 3 or 4.
But like Julio Rodriguez, we talked about this a little bit on last program. If he didn't have such a slow start, he'd be in the top 3 conversation right now, because that is how good of a second half he's had. He's been incredible.
Yeah, he's always going to just quietly go about his business, and then put together a fantastic season, of course. But they are 9-1 in their last 10, 5-game win streak. And he's definitely a big reason why they are 2.5 back from a wild card spot. Now, I don't think anyone in the American League is actually going to get there, to be honest with you. Like Texas, they're too wishy-washy. They become 3.5 back. Cleveland 2.5. I think they're a little wishy-washy too. But the fact that I've counted them out personally about 3 different times this season, and the fact that they still have been lingering. Yes, I love Stephen Vogt, but J-Ram is their dude, and he's a reason why they stay in it for as long as they do.
Yeah, I don't think anybody's going to do it either. And the Rangers had an opportunity to do something with this series, and they pissed down their leg. So I don't have it. They already lost the series, and they have another game tonight. Like maybe they win and gain a single game on the Astros. The Red Sox are 4-6 in their last 10. They're not doing themselves any favors. But the Guardians are on a 5-game win streak. But I agree with you. I don't think any team does it. I think the teams that we see in there now are going to stay there, but there's just going to be seeding changes.
Yeah, and the biggest notable movement there is Boston and Houston flip-flop for 5 and 6.
Yeah.
Right there. Here's Cy Young really quick as we continue this spins list, because I was thinking of Cy Young too. I kind of cheated on this one. I got Abbott and Hunter Green, a pair of Reds at number 10. You can get into that, but I have both the Reds guys at 10. Chris Sale, he pitched a gem yesterday. I still have him at 9. Some of these guys are low because of the innings, but Boyd's been good all year. Was an all-star, so I guess a lot of these guys were all-stars, but we get the point. Boyd has to be somewhere on this list. He's at 8. Ranger Suarez, he's at 7. He's been great. Ranger's got to be on this list, but I think Pavetta's been a little bit better, and he's been there all season. I think Ranger might have missed the first month or whatever. Yamamoto's been spectacular. He's got to be top 5. I do love Logan Webb. I value him. His ERA is higher than some of these guys, but you talk about innings and strikeouts at a true horse. Logan Webb's top 4 for me. Then your buddy Freddie Peralta, I got him at 3. Christopher Sanchez and Paul Skeens then are obviously your 2 and your 3. And I had to show love to a little Robbie Ray there at the bottom.
No love for Wheeler?
Yeah, but he's just his.
Yeah, he's hurt.
He gets eliminated, similar to Stowers. It's like you get cut off of the contention list. I guess I could have gave love to Wheeler, but he's banged up. He will get votes, I'm sure, right?
He's gonna get votes no matter.
Yeah, so I could have loved him. But
unbelievable list once again, minus the Wheeler. Like
Yeah.
I would throw Wheeler maybe just in the honorable mention. I know he got hurt and hasn't pitched a whole
Yep.
lot in the back half, so you can't really put him on the top 10, which is sad because he was having a great year. But thank you for throwing Ranger on there.
Yep.
He had a shaky start, but since then, coming back from injury, he has been lights out.
Yeah, sub-3 ERA guy. So is Yamamoto. So is Pivetta. Webb is still like a compared to the ERAs. It depends on what do you value most.
Mm-hmm.
But it's not like Webb's like at a 3.34. I think last time I checked. It's not like it's a terrible. It's still a respectable ERA. But he's gonna. When I think of like a guy who I want high on this list, it's a true horse at the top, and that's what Webb is. A lot of strikeouts, a lot of innings. So I value that ahead of still with a respectable ERA, and I value that ahead. And then Abbott and Hunter Green. Abbott's innings aren't going to blow you away, but he's been so good this year, and he was an all-star. Hunter Green's been banged up, so I think between the two of them, you have to put a red on this because they've both been really good. But Hunter Green hasn't been around long enough to really be high, and Abbott, I don't know if he's going to be really high. But if you combine the two of them, put a Cincinnati red, I'll put him at 10. Fuck it.
Yeah, and those top 6 guys, I mean, maybe not Freddie or Yamamoto, but I feel like we've talked about Pivetta early on in the year winning Cy Young. We've talked about Webb winning Cy Young, and we talked about Sanchez and Skeens 100%. Skeens will win Cy Young, but Sanchez deserves to get his flowers as well.
Yeah, and I could have loved Cade Horton a little bit too, the way he's been going, but he's a rookie. He'll make my rookie list when we do that.
Yeah, I just think the pitching in the starting pitching in the NL has been fantastic. So,
and then we'll take a look at the AL for my last list of the day, as we look at our Cy Youngs, because this is what sparked the Cy Young conversation was we talked about Crochet versus Scooble last program on Monday. And I was like, well, let's see what the fuck actually happens. I did put, I got to show a little love to Drew Rasmussen, but he doesn't make the list. I think there's 10 guys better. I gave Merrill Kelly a little bit of love, but he got his doors blown off yesterday, Merrill.
Yeah, he did not have a great day.
He looked like shit. So obviously these things are going to fluctuate. That's why I wanted to get these out now because I made the list. And if I wait 3 freaking days, well, then it's going to be a completely different list my next time we do it. But I did put Merrill Kelly at 10. Whatever. Who knows what even happens because he started the year in the NL. Now he's in the AL, so whatever the fuck happens there. Still going to love Rasmussen. I think maybe Rasmussen over Merrill at this point because things fluctuate. Either way, I cheated again because I put Joe Ryan and Pablo Lopez at 9. They both are their teammates, so I said, fuck it. Joe Ryan's been good all year. Started to trend down as of late, and Lopez has been really good. Got hurt. He's back, and he's been good again. So I think between the two of them, put one of those, put them up there together. They're like a combined guys. I give a little Trevor Rogers. He hasn't played the whole season, but I gave him a little bit of love. I also don't know if there's a clear-cut guy. Maybe I can give Andres Munoz a little love as a closer and think outside the box because I tell you what I did do. I did put Chapman at number 7. They're showing love to. I think if you're going to be a closer on this list, you have to be doing something that's absolutely spectacular, and Chapman has.
He deserves to be on that list.
So a little low, but at 7. But you're a believer. You can't be that high because you have to put Fried ahead of you at 6. He had a rough patch, but he's back, and he looked good against the Red Sox his last outing. And then the top 5, I think, is a no-brainer. Brian Wu at 5 because he's got to be. You had to put DeGrom at 4 because as long as he's healthy, you know what he does. Hunter Brown 3, and then the top 2. It's Crochet and then Scoop.
Did you put Rodon in your list?
I did not. Maybe I should take out Merrill Kelly and put Rodon, or maybe I should
I was going to say he's tied for wins in the AL. He's got like a close to 3 ERA, right?
I think he's a respectable ERA. I don't know it off the top of my head.
He's also probably top 5 in strikeouts.
Yeah, he's probably got a lot of fucking strikeouts. 190 strikeouts with a 3.11 ERA. I should have definitely given Rodon more love. What I should have done, honestly, is probably put Rodon at 7 and then bumped everyone down 1. Took Merrill off.
Yeah, I like that. That's the only thing I would change in regards, and I'm trying to help you out there, buddy.
Yeah, no, that's a good point. Because I forgot about things. So yeah, I could have 2 Yankees on this list, for sure.
But this is clear. This is clear cut. You have a great list here once again. I like that Fried's still on there. He at one point was like top 3, but he trended down there for a little bit of the season. But Rodon, I think, does deserve to be in there. Gosh, who's the there's just going back to the reliever thing. The only time you can really throw a reliever in the top like 3 voting or anything like that is like when Clase back in the day.
Yep.
When he was just untouchable. And like Chapman's been untouchable and everything like that, but he has had some slip ups. Like I think you can correct me if I'm wrong, but Class A was damn near perfect back when he was being regarded as like almost a Cy Young, right?
Yeah, and he probably had a sub-1 ERA.
Yeah, so I mean, I don't even know what Chapman's numbers are, but I know it's pretty spectacular, and for him to be doing it at this age is unbelievable. But I do always like it when relievers get brought up in the Cy Young voting because I think it is an interesting topic to talk about. I mean, dude, Chapman's got a 1.26 ERA, 30 saves, 82 strikeouts, a 0.6 WHIP. Like he's been pretty disgusting.
He's done some things with like scoreless inning streaks and shit. You know what I mean? Like, or like he maybe hasn't given up a hit in however long now. I think he got a loss the other. His ERA did go sub-1, and then he got a little bit hit around not that long ago, but might be off the A's against the A's or whatever. But
so
either way, you do got to be damn near perfect. But for the same reasons why you wouldn't give a pitcher kind of like an MVP, they have done it in the past, but they have an award for that. And then this year, we'll see like the relief men of the year or whatever.
Yeah.
They do that every so often. I don't feel like they're not very consistent with that award. I don't know, but they do that. And if you're going to look at who's the best reliever of the season, it would be Chapman for the AL.
Dude, so Class A that year he got top 3. He had 0.61 ERA.
Yeah, it's crazy.
So you have to be damn near perfect to be put up there as a closer.
Yeah, you got to be doing some crazy shit, and you know what? That's why I don't mind putting Chapman in the top 10. I think the best thing to do is put Rodon behind Fried at 7, and then you drop Chapman to 8, Rogers to 9, Joe Ryan / Pablo Lopez 10. Take Merrill Kelly. You're getting cut, especially since I have you in a league. There's still fantasy going on, even though our league is finished. I still have a league going on, and if I win this week, I'm in the chip. And Merrill's fucking me a little bit here. Okay, but let's go to from those solidified pitchers. Let's go to from that to young pitchers around the league. Does epidemic imply a bad thing, or is it just
I think epidemic does
implies bad? Well, whatever like a good epidemic is, that there's been this thing of all these young pitchers making debuts this year and then having instant success. I put a little hashtag at the bottom. I forget what I said. It was like, oh, here it is. It's coming up. Young arms, big roles, instant success. It's been one of the themes of 2025, how these young guys just come in big roles, playoff contending teams, pennant chase baseball, wild card baseball, and they fill right into their roles. We saw a dude on Monday, Trey Yesavage. He's kind of the newest addition on this list for the Blue Jays. Trey Yesavage. His name is literally Ye Savage. It's pretty fucking badass, and he pitched like a badass. Debut Monday, September baseball. He set a Blue Jays record, 9 punch-outs in a debut. He went 5 innings, 1 earned, 9 Ks. That's a Blue Jays record, 9 punch-outs in a debut. You see, guys, I made the case that Cam Strittler, who didn't have his best stuff yesterday, didn't look terrible, didn't look great. He got a lot of run support against the Twins, but Schlittler could very well be a Game 3 starter for the Yankees. We see Nolan McLean, whatever the fuck's name is. Brendan Sprott's been better than Jonah Tong, but we talked about this last time. The guys at the Mets are rolling out. Let's talk about the guys that Boston could roll out. Peyton Toley, I don't think he's been all right, but he's certainly been talked about as a young arm that's been getting opportunities late. But Connolly early might be the bigger notable guy, and I think in 2 starts this year he's been really good. He pitched yesterday, he pitched well. Red Sox lost that game. Let's go. But Cade Horton, I think, is going to be the rookie of the year. He's been great for the Cubs. Jacob Mizorowski, too. And maybe I'm missing guys. Noah Cameron has been a great rookie pitcher for Kansas City. Like, the list goes on. But there's been this young pitcher just coming in the league and having instant success. It's been kind of nuts.
I feel like it's been happening a lot more than past years. I think you're right. Yeah. Back to Yesavage. I'm pretty sure he had his dad crying in the stands. It was a good little baseball moment. Love seeing that. But no, you're 100% right. These young guys have been coming up. I mean, we even had Nick Abel for a little bit with the Phillies having a little success. Then he got shelled, but now he's back with the Twins, not doing too well. But you're right. There have been some young pitchers getting called up in pivotal roles, and it's nice to see baseball pitching might be in pretty good hands.
Yeah, and I don't know if it's just because the kids.
Bubba Chandler.
Oh, Bubba Chandler, another one. I don't know if I'll even throw Will Warren while we're on the topic because he's made about 30, 31 starts this year for the Yankees as a rookie, and I feel like he doesn't get talked about all that much, but he's been reliable nonetheless. And I just feel like I don't know if it's because are the kids, these young guys, especially if they're coming up now, because we're seeing a lot of guys get called up late. Are they like used to this playoff style baseball or this tournament style baseball? Maybe they're used to it. Maybe there's something to just be said about how there's no scouting report on these guys or very little scouting report, or even if there is a scouting report for their minor league days, no, the major league hitters haven't ever faced them, so they're kind of hitting blind in a sense. I don't know if that's the case. I don't know if from a young age, there's some guys that only pitch. That could be something that guys aren't. They're just pitching and only pitching, and then when they come down to get the call at the major league level, they're just doing what they do best. Don't know what the reason is. Maybe there's a few different reasons, but they're kicking ass early, starting their season right on the right foot. Who do you think's going to be the dude though? Like I said, I make a case for Schlittler because I watch him regularly with the Yanks.
Yeah.
I make a case that he could be the Game 3 starter come playoffs behind Fried and Rodon, who we both I think agree could both get Cy Young votes this year. Then you could turn the ball to a rookie Schlittler. But what about Nolan McLean? He could be a Game 1 starter for the Mets because I don't know who the fuck they're going to roll out. Cade Horton, like I said, maybe the rookie of the year. He is a young stud pitcher. Mizorowski too. Who do you like? These guys are all young guys pitching in pivotal situations. Who do you like?
So those three that you just said, Cade Horton definitely deserves his flowers because, like you said, he's going to be the rookie of the year. He's been the most consistent young pitcher throughout.
He's been doing it the longest, I guess. Too.
Exactly, yeah. McLean's stuff is nasty. Let's just get that out
You
there.
bought in on McLean. I thought he was going to get shelled sooner or later.
His stuff is nasty. So I think he's going to be around for a while, which sucks for a Phillies fan. But Mizorowski also too. I mean, his instant success. He's the definition of instant success when he came up. I mean, he was a freaking all-star for Christ's sake.
Yeah, and six starts.
Yeah, so that's also somebody. And also another one that we didn't talk about. Who's the Orioles guy that got called up halfway through?
I don't know.
Brandon Young.
Oh, is he a guy? Is he young though? I don't know if he's a young guy or
did his last name's just Young.
Maybe you think he's young because his last name's Young. He does a 57 and 2/3 innings pitch this year, high ERA, but I don't know if he's young or his last name is Young. I don't know.
I was at 64, so maybe he just had a couple good starts and
he could have. I also don't know his background at all.
Because I'm pretty sure he had almost the perfect game earlier this year, but
he did. Maybe no, he might be. That might have been his first career win when he did that.
Yeah. So,
but I don't know if it's considered a rookie per se.
But I'd probably, if out of those three people that I just said, Spin, I'd probably go with Cade Horton out of all of them.
I like that. Yeah. I like that. We could transition with the Cade Horton thing in mind. Transition to our next order of business. It's who's the team to beat. And let me make a case. We can start with the NL side because I do think there's one or two obvious candidates on the NL, or maybe it's not clear cut, and that's why we're going to talk about it because the Brewers are the best team in baseball record wise, but I don't know if they're necessarily the team to beat. Either way, let me pick your brain with this with Cade Horton in mind because I think he is kind of like the key to the Cubs' success because we all know the Cubs kind of need arms, right? Especially, and you could throw out Matthew Boyd and Imanaga, a couple of lefties. Horton, who's a rookie and a righty to kind of complement those lefties in a staff, does give you a pretty good three. So I'm thinking to myself, I'll make a case for the Cubs. Not that I totally believe it. I'm just going to pick your brain. Little food for thought. I'm thinking to myself, if the Cubs right now, the season would end today, the Cubs would be the 4th seed. They would then play the Padres. The Cubs would be at home. So they play the 5 seed Padres in the north side of Chicago. And you would roll out probably, I would maybe go with Boyd. If you want to go with Imanaga, then who cares? But you'd roll out, I would say Boyd, he was the all-star this year, so I'll trust him. You roll him out for game 1. Say you win that game. You do have home field advantage. Say you win that game. I would then roll out Cade Horton. If you lose, you have to throw Imanaga. But if you win, you could throw out And the important thing is, whether you agree or disagree, the important thing is you do have options, which is, I don't know if we were thinking about that with the Cubs staff a couple weeks
We
ago.
weren't, especially at the trade deadline too. We weren't expecting that.
So yeah, I don't know if we knew that we had these options in Wrigley. Now you think you do. So you can go out, boy. Then I'd throw Kate Horton if you win. If you win that game and sweep the Padres, I know that's asking for a lot, and maybe this is far fetched, but it's not impossible. Then you have Imanaga for a game one. You see what I mean? So does that change the narrative on how the Cubs can navigate through the postseason? And does that make them a team to beat? Could you make that case?
Somewhat, I think. The Cubs lineup, the only reason that we were so high on the Cubs is because the Cubs lineup was absolutely unconscious for the first half, first half of the year, I'll say. They were unbelievable. The second half brought up some worries of people going super cold and the whole team going cold and they're not being pitching. So that's why with them, their ups and downs and everything, if they can get hot at the right time, the Cubs are scary. Because now they do have a three-headed monster. Their bullpen still worries me, and that Padres lineup is just as stacked as the Cubs now, dude.
Yep, with a better pen. Yep.
Yeah, so if we're playing, they got a better pen, and guess what? You're rolling out Pavetta King top 1-2. That's hard. I get that the Cubs are going to be rolling out. You know, the Cubs are going to be running out Boyd, Imanaga, or Horton or whatever. But it's not like they're facing scrubs on the other side.
Yeah.
With Pavetta and King, man. That's a tall task to go up against them. And then also you get to that pen. That pen's a lot better than the Cubs as well.
Yeah, I don't know the status on Tyone, but he's another guy that comes into the mix. Yeah, I agree. It's a big ask, and it almost feels like, despite them having home field advantage, given what they have, unless their offense starts to dazzle the world and their bullpen really starts to find it, it's almost like they need a perfect storm to seriously go on a run, and that's something that could scare you with the Cubs. If the perfect storm happens, maybe you are scared of the Cubs, though. And I don't know if that makes them a team to beat. Who you think you can make a case for it? But again, it's a tall order, so maybe we don't go that route. But for the NL side, who is your team to beat?
It's your Philadelphia Phillies, baby. I have to say it. I have to say it. And I touched on it a little bit earlier in the program because right now they are playing such a good brand of baseball, and I'm worried that I'm hoping it's not starting too early, but I like how they look right now. Their lineup is so unbelievably deep with the addition of Hader and Marsh coming into their own with regards to what Stott is doing too. But then you also have your stars in Bryce and Harper. And Harper and Schwarber also in the middle of that lineup. And then JT's looked pretty damn good this year as well. So the lineup is very deep. Kepler's been hitting the shit out of the baseball as of late too also. So I have to give them credit where credit is due. And I didn't even talk about their pitching yet. When you have we lost Wheeler, and it's crazy when you lose a guy like Wheeler and you step back and you go, I think we're going to be okay. That's nuts. Every single other team, you lose a guy at the caliber of Wheeler, and you are legitimately like crying, panicking, heavy breathing, all of it on top, that you're screwed, basically.
The Mets lost Senga because he's like in AAA right now, and they might be fucking screwed. And that's not even, you know what I mean? That's a big difference.
But guess what? We got Christopher Sanchez, who's going to finish probably 2 in Cy Young voting. Ranger Suarez, who's got the slowest heart rate in the entire MLB. And then take your pick, Nola, who has the experience, or do you go with a guy like Luzardo, who, he just gave up 4 runs in the first inning, but guess what? He didn't give up a single hit the rest of the game after that. We'll talk about a huge confidence booster, mental win for the Philadelphia Phillies and Jesus Luzardo. I mean, come on, man. And then also our bullpen now. Our bullpen looks 10 times better. Orion's look better. Matt Strahm has looked better. And then also the big acquisition of Johan Duran just being an absolute beast for the Philadelphia Phillies. I believe they do have the most complete team right now with regards to the Milwaukee Brewers, who also have an incredible lineup too. Great pitching. We've talked about it all year. Great pitching and a great bullpen too.
Yeah. I do think you got to show a little love to Milwaukee. They only because they're the best team in baseball record wise, and they have been for a little while now. They talk about shooting out of a cannon there, because the Cubs were in first place for a huge chunk of like the first half, and then Brewers did not look back. And yes, but the Phillies, they could keep their foot on the pedal and say, fuck it, we want the 1 seed. And they could very well do that because it's not far. Milwaukee 92-59, Phillies 91-61.
Yeah.
So it's not totally out of sorts to think that the Phillies could be a 1 seed and then roll into the playoffs with a good chunk of experience, with the fact that they won a pennant not that long ago, with being the 1 seed. That would be scary, some scary shit. Especially if they're going to get hot at the right time and roll into the playoff, red hot for a red October. With Milwaukee, yes, they're the only team that can kind of compete with the Phillies in terms of record because it's 92 and 91 wins between the, respectively. The thing with Milwaukee is I don't know if the experience is there. They've never been to I don't think they've never won a World Series. Have they been to one? Maybe they have, but they never won one in the history of their organization. But the Phillies at least got to one with their current manager, with their current stars, with their current supporting cast. So the experience is there. Milwaukee doesn't really have a track record of going deep. So that's what turns me off about Milwaukee, even though they do have 92 wins and 59 losses, which might be the only team in baseball with an over 600 win percentage. They win 61% of the time. The Phillies are right on the cusp. Either way, I think you also shout out the other first place team, and it's the Dodgers. So it's going to be one of the first place teams. I mean, listen, the Padres aren't going to take anybody lightly. They get hot at the right time. We've seen them play really hard ball in October, especially if they're going to play a division rival like the Dodgers. They gave the Dodgers problems last year in October, even though the Dodgers were able to prevail and obviously win the World Series. But the Padres, you could have argued, were maybe one of the better teams at that point of the season. They just ran into the Dodgers in the first round. Either way, I will give love to the Dodgers because they are the defending champs. So that's for my reason. They are the team to beat until someone can take their crown from. So the Phillies can very well. We could see a division round where it's Phillies Dodgers. I don't know how the bracket's going to look, but that could be something. Well, we're seeing it now. The Phillies are taking care of business in September. Until they can take care of business in October and decrown the champs, I will say it's not a great reason, but defending champs are the team to beat. They're defending champs last year. They're first place now. They're still a team to be reckoned with. So for that reason, they're the team to beat. And if you go ahead. Defend your boys. Defend your boys. Yeah.
Yeah. But no, I'm not even defending my boys. I'm going to say myself, I would be an absolute idiot to disregard the Dodgers.
Yeah.
To just throw them out. No, they're not. You can't. Somebody has to come, like you said. It's their crown till somebody takes it, and plain and simple. But the one thing before we even get to the AL that's so cool about this year, there's no clear-cut one.
Yes. That's why we got to talk about it, right?
And it's so fucking cool that this October baseball is going to be awesome.
Yeah.
It's going to be so much fun. This season's been so much fun with all the standing switches and everything like that and going in and even coming down to crunch time and everything. There is no clear-cut one. I love it. I'm so excited for October baseball.
Yeah, good point. 2 good points there. And I'm going to piggyback off of this before we go to the AL because I would have forgot to say this. The whole conversation sparks from an ESPN article where, quote, MLB insiders are mixed on which team has the edge as the postseason approaches. So, like you said, there's no clear-cut one. That's a good point. And then also, we talk about the Dodgers because I know I just advocated for them. I want to make sure we say this stat. Dodgers have a bullpen ERA of 7.40 in the last 5 games. So, picking a bad time for the bullpen to look like shit, nonetheless. Yeah. So that could hurt them moving forward, which would seriously help the Phils. But until someone takes their crown, I'm going LA. Really quick, also on the Dodgers while I'm here, because I had this stat. I think it's funny. Ohtani is a 50-50 guy again. Did you know that?
I just saw that.
50 homers, yeah. 50 homers and 50 strikeouts. Last year, 50 stolen bases and 50 homers. But 50 homers, 50 strikeouts in a season. The only other 50-homer season paired with any strikeouts, do you know who that was? It was Babe Ruth, 1921. And he had 3 strikeouts that season.
That's insane.
So Ohtani continues to do. So when you have a guy like that on your side, that's cool. And he did shut the Phillies down from when he pitched yesterday.
Yeah.
The Dodgers bullpen ERA could actually cripple them where the Phillies looked very put together at the right time. Good for them. AL side now. Who do you got?
We talked about the NL being wide open. God damn, if the AL might be even more wide open. I have no idea because you go with the hot team that's 10-0 in their last 10 on a 10-game win streak in the Seattle Mariners.
Wow, they're in first place now.
That lineup who have arguably had the best trade deadline out of everyone, who have one of the best pitching staffs in all of baseball. Do you do that with our guy Brian Wu, Logan Gilbert, George Kerr? Or do you go with the Detroit Tigers, who had the early season success and don't really have the experience, but have the best pitcher in baseball and have a very good team around them as well? Or the Toronto Blue Jays, who to me are the most shocking team of the entire MLB this year, with the young bucks of Bo Bichette and Vlad Guerrero being led by the old veteran George Springer. Do you go with them? Or you talk about the 3 wild card positions, because the Houston Astros, you got to throw them in there with their October success, because we talk about them how much. They're a well-run organization. Boston Red Sox, the young guns, every single one of them, not a whole lot of experience over there, but guess what? They're just going to play some fuck you baseball. And then finally cap it off, spin your Yankees team. Do you go with the MVP? Do you go with Max Fried, who was a Cy Young candidate at some time? Yeah, they got question marks around the diamond, but yeah, they also have the MVP and got to the World Series last year. So once again, they had the AL crown. Somebody's got to take it. Somebody's got to take it. So I might go with the New York Yankees because they have the crown. Somebody's got to come take it.
Yeah, I'm going the Yankees too. Take it from them until someone can. And also the fact that, the team to beat is just the way it's worded. It is like semantics. You could take it a few different routes. Like, to me, the fact that they're the Yankees, they'll always be the team to beat. Everyone always wants to beat you. Like if Detroit, who has a better record than the Yankees, or even Toronto, who has the best record in the American League, if they lose in, like right now, Toronto would have a bye. If they would lose in the division round, I don't know if it's I think we'd be like, okay, they had a good run, whatever. If the Yankees lost in like the wild card round, or if they lost in the championship round, whatever,
Heads would roll.
It's like, whoa, you took down the Yanks, So that's when you talk about team to beat. There's a little semantic. You could take it that way too. I also think if you look at experience is going to matter. I look at teams like the Yankees and Houston. Now those are your 4 and 5 seeds. So yeah, none of these teams are division winners. Houston loses their division title, but they actually gain ground in the wild card round because they flip flop with Boston. So they lose their division title, but they, instead of a 6 seed, they're a 5 seed. As they flip flop, they're a half game up on Boston, so it's very close. But
right now, whoever they end up playing, the Yankees, right? Whether it's looking like it's either going to be the Astros or the Red Sox. What a first round!
Yeah, I know.
First round.
I was thinking that. I don't know who I'd rather play. I'm scared either way because there's a little bit of a rivalry for both.
Yeah. So are you kidding me? Like, they get the Astros and you got to face Hunter Brown and Framber. Or you just get the Red Sox and you're facing it's the Yankees Red Sox in the playoffs.
Either way, yeah, and either way would be a revenge match for the Yankees because they've had trouble beating Houston in the playoffs. They've had trouble beating Red Sox in the playoffs. In the past. So yeah, I mean, for me, teams like Yankees and Houston, you look at who's generally look at the past, I don't know, about a decade, 8 years or so, especially when Houston was pretty much just been the shit for the past 8 years. And maybe they went to 7 or 8 straight championship series. Like they can actually, I know Jordan's banged up again, so they have their own issues, but everyone has their issues. Like you could talk about Roman Anthony for Boston. Like everyone has their fucking issues. But either way, like I don't even judge if Judge is at full health right now. He might be DHing or whatever the hell he's doing, or maybe he played right last night. Who cares though? Either way, everyone has their own issues. My point is on experience alone, teams like the Yankees and Houston who have proved that they can go to a championship series time and time again, that holds weight for me. They can kind of just, on muscle memory alone, at the very least, get to a championship round. I haven't seen that with this Boston team. They're very young. We'll see. Now, led by Bregman looks sexy, right? And then even Detroit, led by A.J. Hinch, is sexy. Boston, also Alex Cora is on their side. I don't know if Toronto, they don't have track record wise,
Springer,
right? Like,
maybe that's it.
Yeah, but Springer too. All these Houston guys everywhere.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's true. But like, just like track record wise for Toronto, it's like, isn't Joe Carter in the early '90s anymore, babe? Like I don't I don't know. Like, I know they're the best record in baseball, but it's like, ugh. Like, could you make a case for them to be the team to beat? Sure, they have 89 wins. The next best in the American League is 85. So yes, you can make that case. You can make a case for Detroit. They've been good all year. I just don't see it. I think on muscle memory alone, Houston and Yankees can very well go on a deep run to a championship round. And what would be really cool, side note, is if Boston and Houston can flip-flop, then we'll see Seattle and Houston and Yankees, Red Sox for the wild card rounds.
Division
shit.
So the reason I went on that rant earlier is because for me, the AL, there's really no it's all throughout the MLB. There's no really clear-cut one. And that's why I think this October baseball is going to be pretty freaking awesome because every team has flaws. Every team has their strengths. And, I mean, like when you get to the AL side, we talked about experience versus not experience. The Blue Jays are the most shocking team in baseball. The Tigers who knows, past Scooble and their starting pitching and their starting rotation, even their bullpen, maybe. I think Finnegan's even banged up right now.
Yeah.
Like, that's a big question mark there, too. Now they have Baez, who's won a World Series. They have Glaber, who has postseason experience and stuff like that. Then they have the All-Stars, like Riley Green was an All-Star this year. But the Mariners, man, they might have a whole lot of inexperience there, but they have Cal Riley, who's going to be number 2 in MVP voting. I'm pretty sure Eugenio Suarez is a top 5 home run hitter in baseball right now. Julio Rodriguez is having one of the sneakiest 30-30 seasons of all time.
Yeah.
And then
he was on my MVP list too. He's going to get votes.
And then the starting pitching. Starting pitching, dude. A lot of October baseball comes down to starting pitching, and goddamn, do I love Brian Wu.
Mm-hmm.
Goddamn, do I love Logan Gilbert. And you love Logan Gilbert. You had him as a Cy Young candidate in the beginning of the year.
Yep.
I mean,
I think he's getting hot at the right time. There's some like down years for the pitching, or at least we expected them to. I think fantasy might have had like 4 out of their 5 pitchers ranked in the top like 30 or something like that. Like, it was crazy. And I don't think they really met those expectations. There's been some down years and injuries, but everyone seems to be healthy now. And if you were banged up a little bit, well, at least now in September, maybe you're in midseason form. And I think Gilbert could be one of those guys. He's a strikeout pitcher too.
Yeah, but I think all in all, what we got out of that conversation is this October is going to be a lot of fun.
It's going to be nuts.
Yeah.
It's going to be nuts. Can I before we end the show, I have a bone to pick. I think you might like this bone.
Go. What is it?
I was watching MLB Network last night, and they were like doing this thing. Like, Bob Costas is doing a piece on Pat Murphy. We love Pat Murphy, of course. Mm-hmm. And he's a good interview. If you ever listen to Pat Murphy interview, it's worth the listen. He's just a baseball dude. He's funny, but he's like serious, but he's funny. Like, he just seems like a great manager. And I'm just like, okay, this is probably a really good piece, you know? Like, I think he has a cool story too. Like, he's older, and this is like his only second year as manager. Like, I don't know his whole story really, but I think it's kind of like interesting. I'm like, okay, I like Pat Murphy. He's a good dude, baseball guy. Bob Costas doing a piece on him. And then they're like, this is going to come out this Sunday at 8 Eastern on Sunday. And I'm thinking to myself, MLB, you done it again with the with the scheduling. How are you going to put that piece out on Sunday Night Football? And also, do you know this, Sean? Because I looked, I was like, what is the Sunday night game? And I think it's like Chiefs Giants. And then I was like, well, what is the Sunday Night Baseball game? Because now you have multiple things out. This is 8 o'clock. This is some primetime shit. This is kind of a bad time, I thought. What's the Sunday night ESPN game? It's actually better than the football game. This because there's so many playoff implications. You can't be doing this to people. Why isn't my thing loading? My thing's not loading. I think it's Houston and Seattle is the Sunday night game on ESPN.
And are you really?
Yes. It's Houston and Seattle. There's a Sunday night game. If I think can't even load, but I'm pretty sure that's right. And then you have a Sunday night football game too. And you're going to air this fucking Costas on Pat Murphy piece at Sunday at 8? That's a Wednesday piece. You Monday, you Monday Night Football. It's still too early in the week for shit. Tuesday, people are still getting, it's still early in the week. You're getting your bearings to see how this week's going to play out, right? You're still trying to be productive on a Tuesday. Wednesday is the perfect day. It's hump day. It's a nice, relaxing middle of the week day where you can watch Pat Murphy interview because I think it's going to be a really good piece. He's a good baseball dude and a funny character. Good piece. Then Thursday, you got the Thursday night game. Friday is Friday. Then you got college football Saturday, and you got whatever Sunday entails, football, and so many playoff implications as it is for baseball. And you're going to put this on a Sunday night. Isn't it the dumbest fucking thing?
That is stupid.
I thought it was dumb.
It's really stupid.
I wanted to make sure I had a rant in store for that, at least to end the show. Because why would you, on Sunday at 8? That's like primo shit. That's primetime shit. So I got a try screen. I got to watch. I don't even know if I can know how to try.
You're gonna have to have your computer, your phone, and your TV.
Yeah, and I have to have the games muted so I can listen to this. No, I'm not even gonna watch it now. And then the people are gonna complain about how no one's watching their shit. MLB likes to complain about how people are watching people don't watch their shit. It's because you schedule at stupid times.
Yeah, that's fair. That's completely fair.
Man. Pat Murphy in his pocket, quesadilla. Maybe he probably will have something in his pocket. And he'll probably take it out. That's the kind of, like, he's a good dude, and he's That's the kind of humor I think he has. He'll be sitting there.
That's the kind of shit I want to watch.
That's the kind of shit I want to watch on like a Wednesday where I can relax and decompress on a Wednesday. Like tonight, it should be on tonight, and I can look forward to it. Give me something to look forward to, And he'd probably be sitting there and have like talking to Costas, pulling out a pocket pancake and eating it in mid-interview. That's fucking sick. But guess what? Now no one can watch it because there's other shit going on. Thanks a lot, MLB. You fucked us once again. Well, that's everything, huh?
Yes, sir.
I guess on that note, thanks for tuning in, everybody. Shout out to Spit of the Morning, live on a Wednesday. We'll see you Friday. Playoff implications in a Wet Hot America weekend. Peace.